welcome to the No Spin News for Monday, July 28th, 2025. Stand up for your country. Well, some good news over the weekend for a change. Trump got some deals made in Europe, and the economy looks like it's poised to do pretty well the rest of the year. Of course, you never know. Some of my friends are exuberant about the stock market. I urge caution, okay? Don't dive in until you're sure you know what you want to do. But anyway, we'll get to that coming up. But first, a Wall Street Journal poll about the Democratic Party, and that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So the Wall Street Journal surveyed 1,500 registered voters, and they found out that the Democratic Party gets the lowest approval rating in 35 years. Wow. Okay, so you're going back into the 1990s, I guess after Bill Clinton, or probably before Bill Clinton, but I don't know what year it was. But anyway, it's not a good situation for the Democrats, so let's get specific. First question, do you have a favorable or unfavorable opinion of the Democratic Party? Favorable 33, unfavorable 63. Wow. Now, this includes independents and Republicans, of course, but that's a big number. Favorable or unfavorable opinion, Republican Party. Favorable 43, unfavorable 54. Approve or disapprove of the job Donald Trump is doing as president. Approve 46, disapprove 52. So it's a judgmental crowd here. Doesn't seem to be an ideological crowd in this Wall Street Journal poll. I think that's a fair assessment. Now, let's get to the reasons. The primary reason Democratic Party is having so much trouble is its lack of problem solving. This is not a conservative liberal situation. Yes, the far left dominates the party, and it has damaged the Democrats in a very profound way. No doubt about that. But it's a problem solving situation. So let's run it down. The biggest problem that we've had in this country after COVID, it's the open border. And that policy was instituted by President Biden with no dissent from the Democratic Party. It is costing the American taxpayer $182 billion every year to deal with this problem. $728 billion under Biden, 4 years. So we're going to get into the trillions, all right? 12 million people, that's a low estimate of how many crossed into the United States under Biden's look the other way policy, which he has never explained, by the way. And that's another big reason that Americans are not bullish on the Democratic Party. Biden never even told us why he was doing. All we heard was, no, the border's secure. Of course, it wasn't secure. And the amount of narcotics that poured in here was record-breaking. And we're seeing that every day in crime in the streets and drug overdoses. Secondly, the economy. So under Joe Biden, inflation hit an incredible 9%. It's down about 3% now, okay, 9%, because Biden slapped regulations on the fossil fuel industry across the board that crippled supply lines, okay, made it much more expensive to get food and other items to the stores. And it drove prices up. You remember the ships backed up in the ports, that the grocery stores just ramming everything up, restaurants, all of that, because they couldn't get the supplies in. And that was because of all the regulations that the Biden administration put on trucking and gasoline and harvesting, and it's crazy. Then diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI. Americans don't want this. Every poll shows it. They don't want it. They do not want favoritism based on skin color. Okay, period. And they don't want trans men competing with women. And the Democratic Party embraces that all across the board. Urban crime. Cities like San Francisco, Chicago, New York, LA, all in huge trouble. They cannot protect their citizens. Public safety has collapsed. All of them are under Democratic leadership. High taxes. Top 5 tax states in the union: California, Hawaii, New York, New Jersey, Oregon, all Democrats. And working men and women are gouged. They have no money. And finally, welfare expansion. Under President Biden, 20 million Americans were added to the welfare rolls, costing $760 billion a year. And that doesn't count the undocumented who were receiving or are receiving welfare payments. Biden was the biggest spending president in history. So you add that all up, and that's why the Democratic Party is not doing well among the American population. Now, what about a turnaround? Well, it's impossible now because there's no leader of the Democratic Party. There's no face. All right? I guess Barack Obama is still the most powerful Democrat, but he's not really actively involved. And there's some governors who are going to run in 28, but nobody knows who they are. Most famous Democrat outside of Barack Obama is probably Ocasio-Cortez or Bernie Sanders. And these are communist people. I mean, So, I'm a Democrat. It's going to be a tough road going forward. Midterms, it's all about Trump in the midterms. Do Americans, are they fed up with him or not? But it looks like, as I said in the opening, that the economy, with these trade deals and all that, so Democrats are not happy. And that is a memo. Joining us now from Denver, Colorado, is Franke Wilmer. He's a Ph.D., professor of political science at the University of Colorado, Boulder, which has a lot of liberal people and Democrats. I worked in Denver for a couple of years. I'm well versed at the UC Boulder. So first of all, Doctor, thank you for helping us. And am I making any mistakes?
Not so far, for sure. So I have to tell you something, though.
Go ahead.
This is the time we met. Did you mention I was a legislator, right, in elected office for 8 years? I actually bought political ads on your AM radio talk show.
Good. And I hope they helped out. Well, you are a registered Democrat, because I asked my staff, I said, get me a smart Democrat. Get me somebody who's not going to come in here and just throw propaganda my way. So from your perch in the Rocky Mountains now, do you see any hope for your party in the next few years?
Well, you talked about the polls. The polls go up and down. There have been times in the past. You said this is the lowest point for Democrats in
35 years. Yeah.
35 years. And just in 2014, 2013, and 2017, polls showed Republicans at about the same place. So it's even more recently. So, they go up and down. I don't think we've seen the effects of the tariffs whenever they're going to come and go on inflation. We definitely have not seen the impact of the Medicaid cuts, especially to the rural hospitals and health caregivers. And those rural states are mostly red, too, by the way. So I think that's going to have an impact. And, we talked about the cratering of support for or favorability for Democrats. Donald Trump's popularity has been cratering as well. I mean, he's at 37, we're at 33, but
he's 46 in a journal poll.
The Gallup poll, July 7th through July 21st.
But we know where he is.
We haven't even seen the
right. Okay. All right.
The Gallup poll is pretty reliable. The point is that the Republicans control all three branches. They control both houses and the presidency, and they have more Republican appointed Supreme Court justices.
Well, the only hope you have is if people turn on Trump. But my analysis is, even if that happens, they're not going to vote. They're not going to vote for you guys. They're not going to vote for you guys because all of the things that I listed are in stone. They happen. So if say there's an independent voters and they make the calls now, and they go, I don't think Trump's doing a good job for whatever reason, some of the reasons that you mentioned, they're not going to go in and pull a lever for Democrats after Biden and Harris and all of these people disappointed everybody so badly. They just won't vote.
Biden's first election and Obama's two elections both polled very positively with independents. And as you know, this same Wall Street Journal poll shows that independents were the biggest chunk of losses for the Republicans, 29% or something down among independents. So yeah, swing voters are where it's at. I actually think part of the problem is that voters, first of all, as you know, politics is mostly emotional, not so rational. It's about how people identify and how they feel about things. And so that can be very different than reality. And that's about getting the message and the messengers to deliver the message in a clear
But
and strong
who's
way.
who's the messenger? You don't have a leader.
Well, I
Democratic
think
Party has no leader.
it's not just that. I could go through a list of people. You name some of them. I think they're very articulate. I think
But nobody
Andy,
knows who they are. There's not
nobody
one
Obama
Democrat
was.
outside of the communist
Until the
faction.
convention, nobody knew who Obama was either. So in the next,
Okay, but we're
as we get
talking
closer to the election cycle, to the campaign cycle, messengers will emerge.
who?
They'll
Who? Who?
Buttigieg, Gretchen Whitmer,
Buttigieg? You can't eat.
Gretchen
The air
Whitmer,
traffic controller
Bashir,
situation is
Gavin
desperate.
Newsom. We've got plenty of people.
Well, Doc.
I like Wes Moore.
But nobody
Maryland.
knows who the governor
lot.
Moore. Nobody knows who he is. Gavin Newsom is poison for your party.
It's not
You've got
time
to know that.
It's not time. But I want to make a little bit of a different point on kind of as a political scientist. The voters clearly in the Mamdani, I know you're going to call him a communist. We'll talk about communism later maybe. But his election in the mayoral primary, Democrat,
Yeah.
and Biden's, Trump's election as president has a really clear message for all of us, which is voters are tired of and they don't want to support candidates who are canned, candidates who are scripted, candidates who are handled.
I agree with that, but you're getting you're putting. Remember, Doctor. Remember Sarah Palin when she got the nomination in Minneapolis, the famous line that she stole: "You're putting lipstick on a pig." All right. So Mamdani is a communist. The guy wants to seize.
Democratic socialist, just like everybody.
That's what he says he is. But then when you read his screeds, he wants to seize control of the private economy, which is a. Yes, that's what he said. That's what he said.
But I've listened to him 4 times.
I live here.
Hour.
You live there. I live here.
All the people who
I know what he says. Okay.
Right, so my point, he's a socialist. Democrat, just like everybody in Scandinavia is a democratic socialist, and they're not communists.
Way more than that. Way more than that. Now, listen, if you're going to bank on Mamdani to be a positive for the Democratic Party, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
I said that was the message of his win.
His win was 22%. Only 22% of the Democratic registered voters cast a ballot in the primary. That was nothing. It's New York. It's chaos. He's not going to win. He's not going to win a mayoral race. But what they're going to do,
we can talk about the mayoral race another time. The point is,
no, we're not. We're going to talk about it now. The Republicans, Doctor, give me 30. I'll give you 30. Republicans are going to tie a millstone. The Democratic millstone is going to say Democrats right around this guy's neck. Okay. And that's what they're going to do because he's so far out there. But just the fact that you brought him up, and we're talking about him now, shows there isn't one mainstream Democrat, not one, okay, that can spur the message of the Democratic Party. There isn't anybody.
I like Chris Murphy. I like Wes.
Who is he? Nobody knows him.
Chris Murphy. Gavin Newsom. I like.
Gavin Newsom?
We've had presidents who lost their first run and then won the second term. And presidents 2 times, Cleveland and Trump, won a first term, lost a second, came back for a third. So I don't write off Kamala Harris even.
I got one specific question for you. When Gavin Newsom took over from Jerry Brown in California, the state had a surplus of more than $100 million. They are now $34 billion in debt or something. And you like him?
I said I like him.
Why? You like his hair? Come on. Guy's as inefficient as any politician I've ever seen. And Buttigieg is second. You can't even get on a plane.
Bill, I'm going to go back to 2 things you said. One is that DEI is about showing favorability for people because of their skin color. That is not what it is.
Equity, that is what equity is, and that's in DEI.
people who want to misinform and mislead the public are saying that, but I worked in that business in civil rights legislation and
Look up
Title
equity,
4. And what I'm telling
favoritism to certain groups.
you, there
Look
was
it up.
favoritism for white men for 200 years.
So what?
What's the difference? But
So
this
what?
is not even favoritism. It's
You
simply,
don't correct a historical wrong by instituting another wrong.
I've heard you say that before too, but you know what? You didn't write the Constitution, and still you want the rights that it presents you. So
I want everybody to have an equal opportunity to pursue happiness.
You can't just pick the parts of history that benefit
Look,
you.
come on, doctor.
I
You know
would
DEI is deeply unpopular. You know it's deeply
misleading people
unpopular.
about what it is. It's unpopular the way it's presented, the way you just said, which is not what it is.
Yes, it is.
No, it
Yes,
isn't.
it is. It's
not a mandate,
favoritism
it's not a law, it's
towards
not a
certain
policy, it's
groups.
nothing. No.
Don't give me that.
It
is
all things
favoritism.
Recruit a workforce, a qualified workforce that looks like America. It's that simple.
That's favoring certain
policy.
people based on skin color and ethnicity.
It's an aspiration, not a policy.
Aspiration is fine. Knocking people out because they're not the right color isn't, and that's what the Democrats support.
The Supreme Court has ruled on this. That's not.
Why do you think DEI is so far down in the polls? Do you realize it's 65%?
People like you who are giving misinformation to people.
My information, look it up. Look up equity. Look up the definition.
I could read you Title VII word for word. It prevents employment, fiscal, financial, credit, housing discrimination against protected classes of people.
That's fine.
That's fine.
We're talking about hiring and admissions to universities. You don't do that on skin color. And they have been doing it, and you know it.
The Supreme Court has said that you don't. The Supreme Court agrees with that.
And you don't think colleges and employers do that? You don't think Boulder does that? Come on.
I don't think they choose a less qualified person because of their skin color. No.
All right. Look, I want to go next time you visit the Land of Oz. I want to go with you.
Is this Land of Oz?
I appreciate the lively debate, Doctor. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's talk about something big pharma doesn't want you to hear. The government and drug companies suppress treatments like ivermectin and others, not because they didn't work, but because they threatened their billion-dollar vaccine rollout. They want control over your health, but when it comes to your health, you should be in charge. I trust All Family Pharmacy. They provide ivermectin, antibiotics, more essential treatments that can be hard to find. They handle prescriptions shipped directly to your door in days, no hassle, real options. Stock up now so you're prepared, whether it's for illness, travel, or just peace of mind. You never know when you'll need these medications. So please go to allfamilypharmacy.com/bill. Use the code BILL10 for 10% off. Again, allfamilypharmacy.com/bill, code BILL10. Okay, YouTube bonus, media and college corruption. Kind of like what we were talking about today, but I'm taking it further. We have more than 1 million subs. That's subscribers. We hope you will sign up. YouTube.com/Bill O'Reilly. We do not duplicate. Okay, this is fresh commentary on YouTube. It's rocketing. So we hope you check it out. Let's go to Paul Wolarski, Columbus, Indiana. Mr. I expect your opinion, so I'm curious why you're so confident the Supreme Court will agree the phrase "and subject to jurisdiction thereof" in the 14th Amendment excludes foreign ambassadors, but includes the children of illegal undocumented aliens. We've gone over this, Paul, at least 5 times. This is the last time I'm going to do it. The founders put that in, okay, to say that if you are working for a foreign government and you bring your family here and your wife gives birth, you are not an American citizen. You are still under the authority of the foreign government. That's across the board. That's it. It's not going to apply to undocumented migrants, no matter what they tell you on the internet. Sandy Bile, Fallon, Illinois. Why does the government waste our money with committees having people come in and swear under oath to tell the truth and they know they're lying? You said as much on your show, they aren't going to tell the truth. Yeah, taking the Fifth Amendment and the Biden thing, but it exposes them. Congress is an expose. They don't have the power to indict, but they do have the power to refer to the Justice Department. It is worthy to do that. Armando, concierge member, I hope you checked that out. Armando is way ahead. Anything happens to Armando, my crew is with him. Homeless problem exists because it's a result of a chain reaction of counterproductive public policy. Every person receiving public funds or benefits should be tested for drugs. Right on. We are not supposed to be supporting heroin habits here. Eric, spent a lot of time in Singapore. Citizens talk about the strict rules, but they like them. I'm not sure whether they all like them. Not a lot of freedom in Singapore. But they do not tolerate drugs, and there are no drugs in Singapore. You bring them in, they hang you. That discourages it. Rob McKinney, Anchorage, Alaska. I see the right-wing outlets outraged by the $2.5 billion renovation of the Fed. It's my understanding the Fed is private and not part of the federal government. Therefore, the building is not a federal building and money used is not tax money. Correct. The Fed has its own investment company, and it uses its money that it makes from investments to fund whatever it wants to fund. No tax money. Vicky, loved hearing your memories. You could take the boys out of Levittown, but you can't take Levittown out of the boys. I think Billy Joel would agree with me. That's true. Stays with you forever, which is a good thing in my world. Jim Ryan, Scottsdale, Arizona. I've been with you for many years, Bill O'Reilly. Why? Because I trust you to tell me the truth. Well, I appreciate that very much, Jim. Trust is earned. That's our motto on BillO'Reilly.com. Hey, we will get you a Not Woke bumper sticker if you pre-order Confronting Evil. Get you a Not Woke bumper sticker if you buy a premium or concierge membership. And if you do that, not only do you get the sticker, but you get any of my books free, including the new one. You can pre-order it. Okay? Word of the day, do not be a blatherskite. BLATHERSKITE. No blatherskites. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. Name and town if you wish to opine. Back with an audio clip from Confronting Evil. Homeowners, when is the last time you checked on your home title? If your answer is never, then this is for you. Scammers are stealing titles, and your equity is a target. Criminals forge your signature. Just like that, your home title can be transferred out of your name. That's why I partnered up with Home Title Lock, so you can find out today if you're already a victim. Please use my promo code BILL at HomeTitleLock.com, and you'll get a free title history report. Plus, you will get a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title, urgent alerts of any changes, and if fraud does happen, they'll spend up to $1 million to fix it. That's HomeTitleLock.com, promo code BILL. We don't talk enough about those truly making a positive impact. So let's take a moment to discuss Delta Rescue, the world's largest no-kill care-for-life animal sanctuary, home to more than 1,500 rescued animals. It is staffed by trained specialists who provide lifelong care, love, and safety. They do incredible work. But look, it's important to remember that Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions from us. I have donated, and so should you. Their founder, Leo Grillo, built a legacy of dedication and everlasting love for animals. So consider making it a part of your legacy too. Talk with an estate planner. Check out the estate planning tab at deltarescue.org. You can make a difference, even get potential tax benefits. So please visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. deltarescue.org. Final thought of the day, we got the audio version already made. They're going to start shipping it in about 10 days to the various bookstores all over the country. You can order it on BillO'Reilly.com. And Putin, I think, is the most powerful chapter in the book because we got all kinds of new stuff about him. And Putin was part of the KGB, as you may know. And that's the audio clip. Go.
It has been a fast rise for Vladimir Putin. Born to World War II veterans and raised in the slums of Leningrad, the young man earns a rough reputation as a local gang leader and judo champion. He quickly gains the attention of undercover KGB agents and is recruited into the agency. The 22-year-old Putin is trained in hand-to-hand combat, counterintelligence, and torture. His first assignment is the surveillance of foreigners in Leningrad. For 5 years, Vladimir hunts Russia's perceived enemies. Dozens of alleged spies are taken into custody by the KGB. Many are innocent. Some vanish. The communist leaders in Moscow are pleased. In 1985, Putin is promoted to lieutenant colonel and assigned to lead the KGB's operations in East Germany, a major job. There, his training in torture is put to use. First target, Freya Clear. The pro-Western theater director is allegedly spreading democratic propaganda through underground newsletters. Under Putin's order, the 36-year-old woman is placed under constant surveillance. She is soon arrested in Dresden and subjected to Zersetzung, corrosion. For weeks, she endures isolation, surveillance, threats, and efforts to destroy her reputation and personal relationships. Freya ultimately relents. Facing certain death, the activist accepts expulsion from Dresden and is forcibly relocated to West Germany, destitute and alone.
So we chronicle Putin's atrocities from the time he was 10 years old. Confronting Evil. You can pre-order the book or the audio, BillO'Reilly.com. You're going to like it. You're going to learn a lot. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.